Hey folks, welcome on in. In this video, I'm going to tell you a story I call The Grapes. And because today we're working on foreshadowing, I'm going to review that term with you really quick. So foreshadowing means the author gives you hints or clues that something is going to happen later in the story. So as I tell you the story, I want you to be listening for the clues or hints I give you about the eventual outcome. And as I mentioned, the story is called The Grapes, and it's a very simple story. It's a real life experience I had a few summers back. So I'm going to go ahead and begin with this. It was about a few summers ago. We went down to Lee's and we picked up a bunch of grapes, probably because they were on sale and they happened to be one of my favorite fruits. So we got a bunch of the black grape variety and brought them home that night for dinner. As part of dinner preparation, it was my job to wash the grapes, probably because my wife's afraid I might burn the house down if I get near the stove. Not really sure, but unfortunately I'm not even very good at washing grapes. So my method is simply just throw them in the strainer, run them under water for about 5 seconds, and they're good, right? Well, that led to a problem, and I'll tell you what that problem was in just a minute. So get the grapes, take them out of the strainer, put them in a bowl. Everything is on the table for dinner. We're passing all the dishes around. Everybody's getting, their different cuisine and their different side dishes and putting them on their plate. And then we get to the grapes. And so I start sorting out the grapes, giving our two younger kids theirs, giving my wife hers. And as I'm giving them their grapes, I noticed there was a little web, but I didn't think anything of it, right? So I just flicked it off. Seen it before. Then I reach into the bowl to grab the grapes, and all of a sudden, looking back at me, is this wide-eyed, saber-toothed black widow, and it just starts crawling down my arm. I swat it off. Then it's on the floor, and it's like running toward my feet. And grapes are on the floor, bowls on the floor, dishes are crashing, and I'm screaming like my hair's on fire, right? Because I hate spiders, I have arachnophobia, and that's where I'm going to conclude with the story. So what I would like you to do is think back. What were the clues I gave you about the eventual outcome in that story? Think about it. If you need to rewind, go ahead and go back. But I gave you a couple clues. I want you to take time, think about it, pause the video, and then come back as soon as you're ready. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and you took some time to think about it, or you even rewound to figure out where the clues were. Well, here's a couple of clues I gave you. Number one, I told you that I wasn't very good at washing grapes, and unfortunately that was going to be a problem, right? And you didn't know why at the time, possibly. Maybe you did. Maybe you caught on to that. Maybe you've had an experience like this. But what I'm saying is that maybe that didn't happen for you. Maybe it did happen for you. If you spotted it, that was your first clue. Now, your second clue was that little web that I saw that I flicked off, right? I thought, I've seen this before. There's not generally black widows crawling around. And yeah, there was a little bit of hyperbole in this story. As you can guess, the black widow didn't have these saber-toothed fangs. It wasn't staring wide at me, but it freaked me out. I'll be honest there. So anyway, those were the clues I gave you. Hopefully you picked that up. Now that's foreshadowing. And like I said, it doesn't just happen in the books or the movies. It happens in real life too. Thanks for listening. Go ahead and move on to the next slide.